Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel, and I'm Rafides with Money Hearts Counseling. And today's video, we're actually going to talk about feelings and emotions that come up through challenging times and how to be okay with that and not judge ourselves for having them and or beating ourselves up with our mind and our thoughts about why we are the way that we are in any particular moment, because through my work with clients or just conversations with friends and family, it is very often that people become really hard on themselves for feelings and emotions that they have that don't align with feelings of joy and happiness and being content, being thoughtful, being I don't want to say caring, because when we go out of our window of tolerance, so in the clinical world, the window of tolerance is the space that one's emotional body is in without having the unmet needs or the challenging situation take your emotional body outside of it, where behaviors that we exhibit and or things that we say do not reflect the person that we truly aspire to be. But this is really normal. So I always talk about how many emotions we have predominant: fear, disgust, anger, joy, and sadness. So only one of them is actually providing positive feelings and emotions, positive feelings from the main emotion. The rest of them will always be providing challenging feelings. And as humans, we are wired to be below the line. Now, there are seminars that are being done on this, even within workplaces, because we want to normalize the fact that most of the time we are going to feel challenged by life. This is true fact. So life is already challenging enough. Let's not make it even more challenging for us by beating ourselves up with the thoughts that we have. And those thoughts can sound like, I feel so ridiculous for losing control of my emotions last night and yelling at my children. I feel so stupid about forgetting my words at a speech, at a conference that I had to give, and I completely messed up. I feel so bad that my mom is stressed out because of what she's experiencing, and she was taking out her frustrations on me, and I ended up yelling back at her. There's like these little things that we do on a daily basis, and then we beat ourselves up about it. Acceptance is the first step to feeling peace in your present moment. It is okay if we go outside of our window of tolerance, because that is normal. There are tools to expand our window of tolerance, which means that we're going to be able to be with challenging feelings coming from challenging emotions based on what is going on in our world outside of us. We're going to be able to deal with it a lot more before we start to spaz, or sometimes people dissociate and they shut down. Some people are expressive with their feelings and emotions, like myself. I tend to be expressive. I will explode. I will spaz. And then other people shut down, like my life partner shuts down. He does not express his emotions. He is completely different than me, and either one is okay as long as you don't judge it. But the way to be outside of your window of tolerance successfully, because there is a way to be outside of your window of tolerance successfully in a relationship, because it is going to happen, is what we're going to focus on today. So you don't hold guilt, shame, and judgment upon yourself, because that is never helpful. That will always lower your vibration, and it will always call in for more of those experiences for you. So remember, you always create your outer reality. Your personality, like Joe Dispenza says, creates your personal reality. So we can always change our personality with things such as nonviolent communication. Now, this way of communicating is so beautiful because it focuses on the facts and the way that it makes us feel. Therefore, when we're talking to our partner or our children, it doesn't put them on the defensive. It allows for them to really hear what you're saying and what you need really is. Because when we go out of our window of tolerance, most times it is because one of our needs is not being met in that moment. And the only way that we know how to express it is by either shutting down or spazzing. But there's a different way to do it. And it's called nonviolent communication. And it goes something like this. I will use an example from my particular experience. So I lose my cool or I spaz when I feel unsafe and when I feel abandoned. So old Anna would say things like this to her partner. So partner says, I'm going to be going out tomorrow night and I'll be going out tonight. And then old Anna would start to be like, oh, I can't even remember what old Anna used to be like, but it would be, I would basically, I would feel, I remember just starting to feel things bubbling up. And it was like, it felt like I was getting riled up and angry. And it would come out my mouth saying things like, you're going out again? Why can't you ever just stay home? And then, of course, that does not lead to a good discussion because then partner is like, what are you talking about? I don't always go out. Why are you saying this to me? And then it would escalate into a fight. But when I learned about nonviolent communication and I went through my counseling and had to practice this, to learn it, to teach it, what I really meant to say is, so when you sit and you think about why it is that you're bubbling up, it was actually fear. I have a fear of being alone at night because of what happened to me when I was a child. I was in a situation where I was abused in a way that I couldn't defend myself. I was so young. So that fear has stayed with me today. So I'm scared of being home alone at night. So the more nights I'm home alone, the more chances in my mind I have of experiencing that same scenario because my masculine partner is not here to save me, because in my mind, he of course would save me. So instead of saying, when you tell me that you go out, when you're telling me that you're going out at night, I feel scared because of what I went through as a child. That fear of that being repeated to me again is still present with me today. I haven't healed it. And therefore it makes me want to scream and yell at you and tell you things like, why are you going out again? So this is not about him. It's all about me. Therefore, he doesn't have to defend himself about going out. Now we can just find a different method to be able for him to go out and for me to feel safe at home. And, it was getting a dog. So we have an alarm system and we got a dog. Therefore, I was able to control my feelings and emotions, not based on his actions, but based on what would make me feel safe based on my past history, because this is not his fault and he shouldn't be paying for it by staying home. So that is how you use nonviolent communication. So another example that I could use is, there was many times that I would feel, say, let's talk about the garbage. That say you and your partner have set duties in the house and his is to take out the garbage and you're not seeing that happen. And then of course your need to be helped in the house is not being met. So then when life hits you with deadlines and maybe a sick parent or an error, even something as simple as paying a bill online to the wrong credit card, it takes a lot of time and effort after to call the company, have it reversed and have it towards the right one. And then, if there's interest charges, then you have to call about that. All these like little things in life add stress and frustration. And then it's a lot easier for us to go out of our window of tolerance. So say something when all that's said and done, and then you go downstairs and now you're out of time and you're trying to make it somewhere, but the garbage is not out, and then you spaz out at your partner. Instead of saying, you don't care about me, you're not taking out the garbage, how could you? You always do this. This is so ridiculous. Like, this is the way to not communicate effectively anything. The way that you use nonviolent communication is like this. When I see that the garbage is not taken out again, and I've just spent an hour on the phone trying to reverse this bill, or I just spent all this time trying to get ready for my work, and then I come down and I see this, it makes me feel like you don't care to help me around the house. And then you allow that person to process what you're saying, because you're talking about yourself again. You're not talking about them. You're not assuming that they don't care about you. Even though I did just say, you don't care. No, it makes me feel. Yes, it's okay to say something makes you feel this way, because you're not judging it. You're just saying, I am feeling this way. It makes me feel uncared for. It makes me feel not supported in the household duties. That is the way to communicate. And also there are a couple of other examples that we were taught that I have saved, because I feel the more examples we have, the better it is. So say also about time. I tend to run late, and that sometimes is a big thing in my reality. So when my partner, say he comes to me and he says, you don't care about me, you don't respect my time, you don't do this, you don't do that, that actually wants to put me on the defensive, and I'm not hearing what he's saying, because I do care about him and I do care about his time, but because of my own, whatever it is that I have that prevents me from being on time, it creates these feelings in him. So the way that he could approach me for a different outcome, so I'm not defending myself, would say, when you show up 10 minutes late, it makes me feel like you don't value my time and you don't respect what I have planned for the rest of the day. And that gives me an opportunity now to really think about how I'm affecting his day by me being late, because I'm not defending myself. I'm hearing what he's saying. My actions make him feel a certain way. So if I want my feelings to be heard, then I should also give the same thing to my partner, because that is the way to a successful relationship, is through communication and acceptance of what is. And you can do this with your children as well. If, for example, you call your child a name that you feel bad for, or you took away their voice by not giving them a choice, or being authoritarian as opposed to authoritative, and I'm going to make a video about that actually, how to be an effective parent. All children need to hear to reverse that potential like trauma and or damage is an apology, because children tend to internalize things as if it is their fault. So if we're busy and if we're out of our window of tolerance and we yell at them, they think that they're doing something wrong. But we can reverse that simply just by approaching them and saying, I'm really sorry, mommy was not able to control her emotions because of this and this and this. It has nothing to do with you. How do you feel about it? Do you accept my apology? Do you see that it has nothing to do with you? And if there's any feedback that you have for mommy to be able to be different next time, so in case I hurt your feelings, that I don't do that again, please let me know. That's all it takes, right? We can rewrite that story at any moment. We just have to acknowledge it, talk about it, communicate it in a non-violent, communicative way, talk about the way that we feel as opposed to judging and pointing fingers and labeling. No labeling. That is hurtful. No labeling. And then we can just rewrite our story. Every day we have a chance to rewrite our story. Every minute we have a chance to rewrite our story, because every minute of every day that passes, we have a different awareness, and we always do the best that we can with what we know in that particular moment in time. So the more we know, the better outcome of our reality we can experience. Remember that always everything is happening for you, and even life challenges, I know that they just don't stop, but it teaches us to have resilience and to build our window of tolerance and to be able to teach effective communication skills to our offspring if we have them, and if not, to the world around us too. It doesn't just have to be children or relationships. It could be any relationship. It could be in the workspace. It could be anywhere, in any situation that you're in. No judgment. You are exactly where you're meant to be at any given point in time. I thank you so much for watching. Please like the video if you liked it. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. And if there's anything that you wanted me to talk about, any topic, any subject, please put it in the comment box below, or email me, Facebook me, like you always do. And I'm so grateful and appreciative of you all. And thank you so much for being part of me in this life journey of mine. With all my gratitude, see you next time.